Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has agreed to a partial ceasefire with Russia, focused on energy and other civilian infrastructure. Now, Zelenskyy, who spoke after an hour-long phone call with US President Donald Trump, said it was the first step in what the Ukrainian leader said he hoped would be lasting peace more than 3 years after his country was actually invaded by Moscow. But it was his first known conversation between the two leaders after the explosive February showdown in the Oval Office and followed Trump's phone call with Putin on Tuesday. In fact, Trump and Zelensky's exchange marked a swift improvement in Washington-Kyiv relations, with the US president promising to help source air defense ammo for Ukraine, although you must note that Trump also floated the idea of the US owning Ukrainian power plants. In fact, many analysts point out that any possibility of a genuine ceasefire as far as this Russia-Ukraine war is concerned at this point can be ruled out. Some at this point also have a more positive outlook, but considering Washington-Kyiv relations are on the uptick and are on the mend, we will of course be keeping a close eye on all the developments. Zelenskyy has agreed to a partial ceasefire with Russia, focused specifically on energy and other civilian infrastructure. In fact, Trump and Zelenskyy spoke, and it was a first step in what the Ukrainian leader said he hoped would be lasting peace after 3 years of his country being invaded by Moscow. My colleague Vivek has been tracking all the finer details for us. He joins us over the phone line at the moment. Vishal, many point out that what Putin wants currently is a Russia-friendly Ukraine, essentially all of it. Where do things stand at the moment? Is this partial ceasefire? Are people looking at it with an optimistic outlook?
Well, that remains to be seen, Parmeshwar. But at the moment, both the parties have agreed to a partial ceasefire. US, Ukraine, and Russia, all three have been on the same page for the first time ever since these negotiations started. So that is in some way a positive sign. But at the same time, there have been some reports that the attacks have been ongoing, even though these deals have been reached, these partial ceasefire deals have been reached. There have been attacks on energy infrastructure on both the countries. After Trump and Putin spoke, there had been reports of both the countries attacking each other's energy infrastructure. So these reports are still coming in, so it will take some time before we can, arrive at the conclusion that the partial ceasefire has actually taken effect, and there have been some positive signs. But so far, the war is still going on. The larger ceasefire is yet to be reached. There will be one more meeting later this week on Sunday in Saudi Arabia. Yes. So that will also give some clarity as to what can happen next. But the war is still ongoing, and people continue to die each day.
Thanks so much, Vishal, as always, for joining us with the latest. In fact, Russia and Ukraine said that they had each swapped 175 prisoners in one of the largest exchanges since the Russia full-scale invasion started 3 years ago.